I see it's 7 o'clock, so we're going to open this meeting of the Unionville Historic District and Properties Commission meeting. It's Thursday, June 6, 2024. We'll start by reviewing and approving the April 4 meeting minutes. Did you all have a chance to look at them? It could take a couple minutes now to read them through. Has everybody read the minutes through? Yes, great. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Clear motion. Approve.
Thank you. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? No. Minutes approved. Thank you.
All right. Oh.
Oh.
Barbara, you want to take over?
Oh.
Yeah, so we're on to our September tour program. So Barbara and Steve, why don't you let us know? You're doing fantastic work on accruing this information. Talk to us about what you need and how it's going.
Okay. Well, I don't know if everyone has read the notes that we have put out, and if anyone has any corrections, if anyone else has a favorite home there that they would like us to include, I don't know. You know, we can certainly go back and look at it. And Steve has given us the, taken the pictures and also given us the architectural descriptions. I want to say something about 132 and 134. Okay. That 132 and 134 kind of really have an interesting story in that am I getting this right or am I doing it backwards? Which purchased and sold to, 134 was originally in 1863 in the front, right at the edge of the street. And then the Harts moved it all the way to the back. So it's kind of hard to get to. It's not very interesting to look at, actually. It's kind of looks a little dilapidated from the street.
Somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat. It's planning of just adding a little history so we can understand what happened to the Hart house, but we're not going to walk back there and really talk about the architecture. And
We'd be trespassing.
Yeah, so if anyone has any comments about that. Which one is it? Is that one?
This is 132 here. Here's 132.
Okay, yep.
So when you drive by it, you'll notice, when you drive by it, you'll notice that there's a post and rail fence that's at like a 45-degree angle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a weird property line right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And 132 is where that fence is.
I don't have a picture of.
Right. And then 134 is all the way in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Greek revival. It's about 50 years older than this.
Right. Oh, yeah.
This Victorian house.
1830.
It predates it.
What
You
made
can't
you
really
choose?
get to it and see it. It's not even worth including, right?
Right. Well, just as like a perspective to what was there before.
And it was a common practice then, too, is to move houses. It was
Right.
a very resourceful Yankee, I don't know if it's whose influence that is, but it's kind of neat to point that out. And then, as you said, the occupant of 134 was also instrumental in the development of Plattner
Plattner and Porter.
Right. Paper Company.
Could you just combine them and say 132 and 134? Maybe?
Yeah,
You can just
I
say
could,
130.
yeah, and kind of shorten this. And
Yeah, and
just-
134 was originally at the front, it was moved to the back, it's located on private property setback, so you can't see it.
Right.
So Barbara, was that the 13th house? I have pictures of 12.
Some wall.
Amy.
We don't have the Masonic Hall yet, which
Oh, right.
Matt was gonna supply us with a description of the Masonic Hall, or a little history.
Yep, I've got a write-up for you.
Matt?
Yes.
And we can use I think I have a picture of it from the Lovely Street.
Right, I think
Right.
I think we still have that, right, so
And
let's see, when you count
the
them
write-up-
up now.
I think the
1,
write-up is
2,
with that
3,
Lovely Street stuff as
4,
well.
That's right, it is,
5,
yeah.
That's
8, 9.
And kind of like we did with the Lovely Street, we reminded people that there was the Episcopal Church
Yes.
to the right of the firehouse in the graveyard lawn. Should we do the same with the First Church of Christ?
The first.
I'm sorry.
It's still there. St. Mary's,
It's the
St. Mary's,
president.
right.
I think,
Right.
yes,
Should we,
I would mention it, yeah.
should, I mean, the
Absolutely.
plot, it's holy ground.
We have,
Yeah.
there's photos of it too, where I,
Lots of
Yes, lots of photos,
so you,
I have
so you
lots
can
of
just do that,
photos.
you can put that in, that way you can say,
So now, are we up to 14?
Actually, I think we're at 15
15.
without the church.
I think the museum actually has pictures of the church
Oh,
before,
it does.
before it burnt
Yep,
and was rebuilt the first time.
yes, they have a lot of pictures, so that's all interesting, so.
if you combine 134 and
It's a-
132,
Yes.
that takes away one, so that keeps you at 14.
Yeah.
I think we're still at about 50, I think
Where-
we're
what
about
number is
15.
Of where the church was, where
It
the,
is 154.
okay, thank you.
And when we get to the end, I wanted to do a little something on Lawton's, mill,
yeah,
which would be additional time. So we're probably maybe talking about 16 altogether.
Would that include walking across the bridge?
I think.
Well, we're not walking across, we're not gonna walk across the
That'd be
bridge.
pretty scary.
No, we're not walking across it, because that would elongate the whole walk
Yeah.
tremendously. I wish we could, but that would, you'd have to walk all the way around, and then, I have found several pictures, of Lawton's Mill, the old mill,
The golf course.
that we could put a picture in. It's just that we're right there, so we should say something about it.
it'd be nice to be able to see it in some way. I wonder, I don't know
You
if
can
at the-
see it.
at the
see
end
the
of
back.
Perry Street, what's that?
Kind of,
At the
yeah.
end of
Yeah.
Perry Street, can you peek down the driveway and see it?
When you're standing on the bridge,
You could walk to the base of the first bridge abutment,
Oh, I
And
see,
then
you want to go
look-
to you would walk to the end of the bridge, I see.
just, yeah,
Right.
just to that end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
And then you can look, there it is, right there, perfect.
yeah, there you go.
So that might be, that could be a good halfway.
yeah.
And there's
And
the
I think
river
most
too.
people are, I think, well, I shouldn't say most people, but many people are familiar with the golf course, the little miniature golf course there, and of course, it's kind of like a wellness center.
Yeah,
So, but they don't know anything about the history,
yeah, it's true.
which is
great.
interesting. And
Good.
it has had several changes of hands and
Yep.
a couple of interesting people who were attached to it. So
Great.
So that's where we are.
And number 198 Main Street is, Frank Lawton House.
Right.
So that will nicely
Right,
tie them.
kind of at the
Yes,
end.
yeah.
Right.
198.
And then you can also see at that particular place, when you're standing there, you can see, I'm not sure of the right name, wasn't a reservoir.
Oh, canal.
The
But
canal, the
there
feeder
was
canal.
yeah,
Feeder
you can see the runoff area for the canal, and you absolutely can see the indentation, where it was.
Absolutely.
That's like the
Yeah.
whole,
Yellow and white.
Yeah, the flagel.
Queen Anne neoclassic,
And then do this.
1912.
Talking about in between Main Street and Perry Street, right, Barbara?
yeah.
Yeah, so you can see the basin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, the basin, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you hit to the church parking lot.
And
Yeah.
that, that could be pretty, helpful to talk about, because there were some early tenement or rental houses, that are on our tour here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
how that ties in with the power,
Right.
the manufacturer.
Yes.
What street is that? Can you repeat that basin again? I'm sorry, I'm trying to
Oh,
follow.
it's the feeder canal
It's-
for, the feeder canal for the Farmington,
River?
yeah, the
Okay.
Farmington Canal.
Okay.
But it's so, you know where the light is at the corner of Perry and Main?
Between Perry and Main.
Okay,
It runs in people's backyards.
okay.
And
That's actually all, yeah, but it's in their backyard, but it's all, I think Eversource owns it now. Yeah, CLMP.
it's sunken.
Yeah, actually, I have a picture that I found from behind the houses, and it looks like that they're right on a major river. It's,
When it was filled, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But it went to the paper mill.
So that was the diverted sluiceway, for the water
Oh,
power.
that's a
And
great book.
they could
Right.
regulate it, to increase the hydro or not.
So there's still some work to do, and I think, Matt, you wanted it all by August meeting, right?
Yes, I mean, if we can get it for August, I can squeeze some time in August to try to put it together. Because, I mean,
Well, if we can get it-
we're still trying to do this in September.
Yes. We've got a
Right.
date, the 28th, I think, of September.
Yeah, so then I would need it for the August meeting so that I will
Okay, so
carve time out.
Yeah, okay. Or actually, because we'll be doing several walks, to become familiar with it. And so once I know exactly the order of the homes, because we're gonna be parking at, St. Mary's, and then
Right.
walking down towards the bridge, and doing one side of the street, and then coming back and looking at the other side, crossing over at St. Mary's, and then going down towards, the Masonic Hall. That's
Right.
how we've been envisioning this.
I can
So-
reorder. I can
Well,
reorder it on the fly. It's more of the text and the photos, having that finalized so
Right.
that I can.
But I'll
Do the
put it in the
copy
right,
paste.
in the order that we're
Okay.
gonna do it. And of course, the other thing is, I don't know how many of you have actually read it. In some cases, we had, more than one person living in the home of interest. So there may be a lot more verbiage, but I think it's the kind of thing where if you're actually doing the walk, you want to take, like highlight or whatever, what is most interesting, what's interesting to you, as well as what you think people really need, and then we can actually give them a brochure with everything. Okay, 'cause,
We're gonna
Sometimes-
give everybody, all the participants will get a printed tour guide, is that right?
that's what we did
we've
last
done.
time.
Yeah. well,
Yeah,
they're
well,
not
that's
hard
right,
to
that's
print.
right.
Right.
Okay, good.
Right.
I think that's great.
And then
Good.
hopefully, and then hopefully that's also what they'll find online when they
Yes.
go, online to see it. So they can have that, because there's, you know, there's probably 100 more things I could put in, as well as probably take out.
So do you
And
need,
I do, go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, finish your thought. And,
No, I have talked to, John Viebert, and I told him I still have a couple of questions. I believe his father-in-law, not his father-in-law, but the first Viebert, his father-in-law, I believe, was the first principal. Their name is Monteith. That's where Monteith Drive comes from.
Yeah.
But I don't have it exactly straight, so I'm gonna talk to him, and hopefully he can fill me in with the exact information.
great.
I've got
And it's
that.
interesting because everyone knows a Viebert.
Barbara, I can provide you with that info. Because I've got a catalog somewhere, because he was also one of the first University of Connecticut presidents as well.
Oh, wow, okay.
He was quite a man.
Yeah, so,
Yes.
yes, I mean, it's interesting. And that's what makes it so fascinating. We've also, I don't know if you're aware, we've had 3 Connecticut Supreme Court justices from Unionville. And one of them, Lou Shapiro, lived at 101 Main Street. So again, kind of a real interesting people that we've had here.
So Barbara, would you like a paragraph
Yeah, the doctor's office.
for the beginning of the tour about sort of Unionville's manufacturing identity? Because so many of the stories of these houses' occupants relate to manufacturing in some way, either inventors or managers or workers. Would that be helpful? I'd be glad to provide that. Then you could edit that as you wish. But yeah, okay, good.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And of course, it's fascinating today, where we live so separated economically, the way, you know, we just live.
Yeah, that's true.
And you had the president of the company, and 2 doors down, you had the rental house where you had workers living.
Yeah.
So they literally passed each other and probably knew each other. I mean, it was just a different, totally different atmosphere. Instead of being separate and not caring about this group at all because they're over there, no, they're right next door to me.
Yeah.
So it must have been a very different flavor to the community.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a nice.
Perry
nice
and Elm
detail
and
to bring
Maple,
up,
there was also more workers' houses in the neighborhood.
Right.
On the other side.
Oh, yeah, right. Perry Street was like all, a lot of.
Maple or Elm.
Right.
Maple runs parallel
Maple
to
is the,
me.
yeah.
Kind of wonder how they were, when they were walking back and stopped at the Gleason Tavern for a drink.
Yeah.
That they kind of must have all been in there. I don't know if somebody, I keep asking people if they have any stories from their relatives. I know there's so much at the museum, but there's so much also that we don't know. Be interesting.
I think the other part of that is, if you knew that your boss was just a few houses away, would that have made you more attentive to getting to work on time and things like that? I don't know. It would for me, but maybe not everybody's that way.
It wasn't a long walk. I mean, you know,
not at all.
Mill Street is not far. Canals are right there. Yeah.
The
All
same
right.
thing
What else
for Cottage Street, too.
Steve and Barbara, do you need from us? What else can we provide you?
I was thinking, like we did for Lovely Street, it might be considerate and cordial to send a letter to each of the residents on Main Street.
that's
giving them the warning like we did.
Yeah, that's in the schedule. It'll just be closer, because if you tell them now, they're gonna forget, and they're gonna be like, why are all these people staring at my house?
There's gonna be a group of.
That, and, did you confirm that the date's okay with the church?
Yeah,
Okay.
but they still need the,
Yeah, I needed the date first before so I just wanted to
Okay.
check, because I think you were gonna check with them that they were good with those dates, because we decided them on at the meeting, and then you had to check with the dates. But then as long as the dates are set, I'll get the, insurance certificate over to them. And if you could just send me whoever the contact is,
Okay.
Yeah.
send it right over to
So
them.
Yeah.
the dates were the 28th and 29th, and the 28th was 12 to 2, and then on 29th was 1 to 4. We still sticking with that?
Yeah.
Sounds good, huh?
I think we did that because of church services.
Yeah,
We didn't want
right.
to interfere with any of that.
Yes.
12 to 2 and what?
Yeah, I mean, I'd really like for everyone to take a few minutes and read it over, make sure that it's in English. English is, I used to joke with the kids when I was subbing that I take English as a second language, and of course, some of them believed me and wanted to know where I came from. I would say New York. But, you know, there may be glaring spelling errors that I will never find, no matter how many times. So if you'd read it over, make sure it's readable, and, you know, let me know what else we need. And,
Great.
yeah, that paragraph with a very brief history or, you know, discussion of our manufacturing. You know, there's just so much that you can put into this, but
Yeah.
paper used in Congress came from Plantner and Porter. And they do have, someone from, that, at the museum, where I think it even says, Congress of the United States, blah, 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 and then you can see that there's a watermark. So it's interesting. You don't think of these little, you know, you think you live in this town, oh yeah, you know, you read about the oil barons and the coal barons and everything, and it's just fascinating how really important some of the things we made here. I mean, there's someone, and Lisa, you probably know, off the top of your head, who held the first pattern for what almost looks like a throwaway, but it wasn't a throwaway, but almost like that, a razor.
Oh, I don't know that. Does somebody else know that at the table? Yeah, that's, there were so many things manufactured. It's hard to keep track of them all. And some of them didn't last long.
No,
It's really
but
Disposable
fascinating.
razors.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that one.
yeah, but every you know, every invention, every idea leads to another one.
Right.
So
That
it's not-
entrepreneurship.
even if they didn't become the biggest thing,
Mm-hmm.
it enabled someone else to go further.
That's a really nice phrase. I'd love to see that in the tour. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Well, well done, Barbara, and Steve, well done. That's great. Anything else we need to attend to before the next meeting in regards to this particular program? Garrett, are we okay with insurance and everything involved with that?
Yep, I'll get that from the finance department. Steve will just send me the contacts for the church so we can send it right over to them. And Steve, if you could just upload the photos to the OneDrive link, just so that the quality's better. And I'll resend it when I send out the minutes, so that way you just have it and just pop them up there.
Yeah.
Great.
And I think you've got notes on them anyway, so it'll be easy to just put them right in.
Yeah, and I won't be here. The next meeting is on the 11th?
Yes, because
Yes.
our regular meeting would be the 4th.
Would be the 4th, and before I thought it out, I made reservations at the Goodspeed, so I'm sorry I won't be here for that meeting, but I'll try to get everything together, so you can look at everything.
Yeah,
I'll
we
have
just need
everything out
everything.
there.
Great. Good. Well on the way.
Yeah, everything finalized by September, because it's the end of September.
As
No.
much as possible.
Yeah, just polishing, because it's the end of September, so it gives plenty of time for printing. And then we'll work on a flyer and all that other stuff, and send out those letters in September.
Good.
All right. Matt?
Anything else with this program?
I
Wonderful.
think that's it.
And this is, oh, Matt, yay.
Just an update, a quick update. So
Yeah,
I've got some of the before pictures and then some after pictures. We talked at the last meeting about that. The stained glass that you saw there
yeah,
was what we're modeling, the two little windows on the driveway side. And so we've came up with we got our size. They are going to be 8 by 13, and there's a picture of the framed down below. And I'll explain when we get to that how we came up with 8 by 13. But if you go ahead and scroll down, Garrett, because these are what I showed. So they started by taking the chimney down. So everything started on April 8th. So that's what we're working off of as our benchmark, April 8th. And today is June 6th. So everything you're going to see happened in the last 2 months. But they started with the chimney, taking it all the way down into the first floor, came down fairly quickly. Fireplace, and John and his crew rolled right into demo, taking the plaster and lath. We had a couple of things that we uncovered. Keep going. So over in the far corner there behind the hand truck, go back one. Go back one for a second. There's a close up, but that wall was deep. There was a pocket because it was on the side of the fireplace. And apparently there used to be an old washer there because the plumbing was still buried in the wall and still was just capped and had water in it and everything else. So, so go ahead. You can go to the next one.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So that's the corner. You keep going. I mean, that shows kind of the ceiling. Ultimately, we ended up with 9-foot ceilings all the way across. So the ceiling that was in the kitchen, the old kitchen, was basically just floating. It was not structural at all. And so we were able to take that out, sister all of the old ceiling joists, some pushing up of things here and there to get it all level. But those ceiling joists that you see there were just floating. That's it.
Wow.
And if you go to the next one, keep going. That's just kind of showing. That's Ella helping me with things. So I had shown you like the depth of the kitchen was deeper than the other side of the house. And so when we started to take it apart, what you see there is what actually used to be the original back porch. And in the 70s, when they expanded, we think it was in the 70s or could have been earlier, but eventually they expanded the kitchen on that side of the house, and they didn't bother to take up the flooring. They just put new floor joists on top of the existing flooring and then put flooring on top of it. So you're looking at they tore up the top layer, and that underneath was all of that tongue and groove underneath as well. And they had pushed the porch out, and there were actually the framing for windows that they had closed in was left in the wall as well. So my best guess is that side of the house matched the layout on the other side of the house, which we still have today, which was a small kitchen with a pantry on the side of it.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. So, that's awesome.
Yeah. We go to the next. There's the hole after we took it out.
Wow.
And
what's the year of your house?
1884.
1884.
But the two L's we think were added on around 1900. So the square door, the large square door you see in the far distance there is where the original the house ended there originally, and then they added the two L's on. The plywood in the center of the room was where the fireplace was, and standing in the door from the mudroom into the kitchen, looking at the whole space all the way back.
Wow, look at that.
So, yeah,
that's amazing.
25 foot by 12.5 foot.
Wow, that's a huge space.
That's a big kitchen.
Yeah. Wow, it's better to have more than less, right? That's great.
Yes.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
If you keep going. We took the opportunity to replumb the second floor bathroom while everything was open.
Great.
And the next few The next few pictures show the evolution of the porch. So you can see where they took one of the windows out. This is what the back porch looked like. So you entered in straight and walked straight into the kitchen. And we basically did a little bit of a swap. There's the window. Yep, keep going. There's the window that we took the door out, put the window in,
Yeah,
and
nice.
matched the height of the other windows in the house, which the windows actually sit higher than the doors in
Oh,
terms of
interesting.
framing.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Huh.
And so this is standing about just a couple feet back from where the kitchen sink is going to be. And the new windows have been framed out, but we hadn't quite blown through the porch siding. So there will be a view, and go ahead, another one, Garrett. Oh, sorry. Okay, so these are the two little windows.
Yep.
We'll come back to that. Go ahead and
Nice.
show the view. So this will be
Oh,
the view
nice.
now, looking out from
Nice.
the kitchen.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. You could actually then, when you're in the house, you could see your carriage
The
house in the
backyard.
back. That's
Yeah.
lovely. Yeah.
If you
Great.
we'll go a couple more, Garrett. And so this is what the back door now looks like. So we
Yeah.
now have a covered back door, and we left the post with the decorative bracket and just
Yeah.
extended it down on the stair. And
Nice.
so I've got some more painting to do. So.
Yeah. Never ends. Never ends.
No.
That's
And
beautiful, though. Beautiful.
Garrett, if you can swing back to the decorative windows. Yeah.
There, that one.
So,
Yeah.
so if you imagine the kitchen window is there, those
Yeah.
two little framed openings will be the two stained glass windows,
Nice.
with the hood in between. So, my wife was an elementary math major, and her project for, I think it was bachelor's, I don't think it was her master's project, but one of her big projects was on the Fibonacci sequence. And so we're trying to decide what on earth, like what size window are we going to go with? And so I take all the measurements and I come up with my suggestion. She goes, nope. She goes, based on that, I think we can do 8 by 13. And apparently that's numbers in it is a perfect proportion is what it comes out to. So
It's a good thing you married her.
Yeah.
That's great. Who would know?
They're not too big, not too small, and
Yeah.
we'll be able to replicate enough of the detail of the stained glass. So
That's lovely.
So,
That's
yeah.
a lovely
So-
detail. Yeah.
rough inspection was today. They started insulating. The inspector's supposed to come back tomorrow. Garrett, you didn't. He said he's stopping back at his lunch. So, but to check the insulation, and things
Great.
are rolling right along. Cabinets are already in. That they estimated 6 to 8 weeks, and they showed up after 3. So
Yeah. Great.
Yep.
Wow. So you're going to make your deadline. Great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'll have
wonderful.
more pictures next month.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for the update. That's fabulous. Just fabulous. That's just great. Good. All right. Excellent. So let's see. So we've done the walking tour. We have had our update from Matt. Is there anything else that anybody'd like to bring in front of the commission at this meeting? Garrett, do you have any news for us?
No, just a reminder that the next meeting is the second Thursday, not the first Thursday. The 11th, not because it's the 4th of July, so
Right, okay.
keep that in mind for July. I haven't talked to anyone about any applications or anything. George has been working on the house. A number that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. That he was converting into a 2-family. The owner of George's.
Oh.
230.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the blue one.
Yeah.
He was painting the front door.
Yeah, so, but that's it, nothing else right now.
The gazebo is done at Clover Penny.
Yep, they
Finished with the little libraries.
yeah, they did all that. They actually had some extra material left over, so they added some benches to the gazebo at Maple Village as well, so.
Oh, good.
Not historic district, but still got
So-
something good there.
Nice.
So there's an added piece. the hinges and handles on the little free little libraries came out of the kitchen. They were the
Oh.
Olivia actually reached out to Shalice over Facebook because we were doing the buy nothing and giving away the old hinges, and so the hinges that you and handles on those libraries came out of my old kitchen.
Oh, that's amazing. You make sure you note that someplace official. So that's great. I love it. Great.
Donated by the,
Yeah. So can I just bring something up about the next meeting? That's right smack dab in the middle of the Fireman's Festival in Unionville. So I don't know if any of the rest of you go to the events, but what is Thursday night? Is that family night? Or and also
Yes, Thursday night is family night.
family night. Yeah. So I'm wondering.
I'll just send out, Lisa, I'll just send out a email about a week before, just to see if we'll have a quorum. If not, we'll just cancel.
All right. Okay.
Because we already know Barbara's not gonna be here, so.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's right.
Let's
Barbara's
just-
not
yeah,
gonna
we'll
be
do
here.
that.
That's right. Thank you, Garrett. That's the
No.
way to do it.
No
All right.
problem.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else to come before the commission, thank you, everyone. Great stuff going on. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Any second, please?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of adjourning, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Right. Well, thank you, everybody. If we don't see you in July, I know some of us will be working on this tour. We'll see you in August.